Greetings Petrolheads, my name is the Tom, you're on my gaming channel, and today I'm playing another episode of Automation, the car company tycoon game. So, somebody requested me, and you have to forgive me there, if it's not a specific replica, like, if it's not a specific request, I should say, like a replica of a specific car or something, then I do not, you know, write down the name of whoever it was that requested it. So with that in mind, I apologize, but I don't know who it was. But I was requested to build a early 2000s sports car to rival the Honda S2000. And this, you know, the early 2000s were like the quote-unquote glory days of the Japanese sports cars. You had the Nissan Silvia S15, I think still on sale. Right? What am I talking about? I think it even came out in 2002 or so. I'm actually embarrassed. I don't know what I'm talking about. But the Skyline R34 GTR just came out in 1999. Then the S2000 obviously just came out, and we get a couple of choices here for what kind of body we want to use. We can use this, which is, you know, doesn't get more S2000-ish than that. You can use this body, which I think has a pretty interesting rear end. It does not have a very big engine bay though, and I would like to give this thing an inline-6 engine. Let's try it though. Yeah, let us just go here. Say we want a the chassis. I would say HS, no, corrosion resistant steel and longitudinal placement with double wishbones front and let's say a McPherson strut front and multi-link rear, because that used to be a pretty popular setup back then. And plastic panels because they're light and cheap. What's our tire size? 165s up front are probably not wide enough, like, for any sort of traction whatsoever. 225s make the front look very, very silly actually. And we're gonna have to flare the rear arches as well. We're not gonna use those 275mm tires, in all likelihood at least. But just so you know, it matches the front. And yeah, so what kind of lights are we gonna put on there? Let us try some. What is this actually? This is a new type of headlight from the workshop, and apparently it's still a little rough around the edges apparently, so let's go for something else. I think we want to make some custom headlights here. Oh, good. I have all these material combination mods in my game twice, because I am an idiot who, you know, let's just leave it at that. I'm an idiot. What the heck is this? Oh, this is a sort of... Oh, we can put this like here and drag this across to kind of... No, I don't like the idea of that. So let us just actually make the headlights as I was talking about. Let's do it like this. And let's see. How far on the right side can you place this fixture? Oh, all the way over here actually. So let's do it like this. Of course we're gonna need a little bit more here to actually cover the edges of the headlight fixture that we're about to place down. Oh wait, this, yeah. There we go. And then one of you up there and like that. Okay, I think now we're ready for putting the headlights in. Everything's set up properly for it. And so there go the headlights. I don't think we need this actually. Yeah. Do we need this? Yeah, we do. What's causing the headlight is causing some weirdness as well? Well, that's not... Well, that's the fault of this body then. Oh, so... there is an appropriate placement for it, apparently. Alrighty then. What do we do with this? Alrighty. Now we're actually gonna get to give this thing a grill. Wait, is this an... I can't believe my eyes. We got an Aston Martin type grill in this game. I'm not gonna use it for this car though. But what grill am I gonna use? That is the question here. You know, it needs to be it needs to have the spirit of the car, if you will, the spirit of the era. Like, I can't put a very fancy and 2015-ish grill on a car that is supposed to be coming out in 2000. Like, it wouldn't be appropriate. It wouldn't be adequate. What if you do this? I think that's pretty good. Then we're gonna put, oh good, we got all of these patches as well. I downloaded everything from, like, absolutely everything from the Steam Workshop, because I'm running a community challenge on the forums. If you're interested, I'm going to put a link to that community challenge into the description of this video. Now, I'm not gonna put the same kind of fancy, you know, a single light bulbs into this headlight shape that I would put on a 2015 car, but because that wasn't really the trend yet in 2000. But what they did do is have a pretty big indicator array, or at least that's what the Europeans did have in that era. And since this is, I mean, it's gonna be quote-unquote a European contender for an Asian car, for a Japanese car, if you will. So let's do something like this. And then give it I have to put some separate light bulbs in there, because otherwise these things don't really look like headlights. Let's do this. I like this look. Now, how can we make this even better? Obviously, we still need we still need a, if I could speak today. What we need is a front bumper. That is, what the heck is this? Let's just go for something simple here. Let's turn it around. And give it some pretty simple vents, really. Can't find what I'm looking for anymore, because there's just so much stuff. I should have thought of that before doing what I did. And now we're gonna give this thing some fog lights. Like that, and I think that's it for the front end. Then on the sides, we do have some new indicator fixtures here, and I quite like these with the kind of diagonal sides. Like, it's not a rectangle, it's a parallelogram, if you will. And then some pretty simple plastic door handles here. And another one of these guys back here. Even though it's not really necessary, but you know what, let's just leave it then. Alrighty. Now for the rear end. We want some plastic on here. Question is just, what shape do we want it to be? Are we gonna go for this? No, it's pretty rough on the edges. What about that? That's better. Actually, the S2000 had pretty modern taillights, if you will, like not just some simple square and circular taillights. But what I'm gonna do nonetheless is get one of these in the middle here, so that, you know, to kind of make my point easier to see. The problem with these fixtures is that when you want them to close in the middle, this stuff will happen and they'll overlap. So you make them a little bit less wide, and then you have a gap. So there's no sweet spot, if you will. I tried like hours and hours and hours with those, and there's no sweet spot. Maybe I'm just terrible, but that's what it appears like to me. And now let's actually see what kind of shape do we want for these tail lights. Now we have some vents down here. This is the fixture we're going to use in all likelihood. Or actually no, we want this to be about until here. We're gonna have some of these over here. Good. Now we have to think about what kind of shape we want for these tail lights. I think we want one just straight like that. Actually, I think let's keep it simple. Make this a little bit thinner though. And then clone this, make it a little bit less wide. Maybe this a little bit thicker. And then just put something in there. Like this, and then we're gonna put some red circular fixtures on this. Is this the same size? No, it is a little bit smaller. Just too big, isn't it? No, it's just perfect. Okay, so let's clone this. Make the last one orange. For an indicator, obviously. And then those are not perfectly in line, because I just suck at this game, but anyway, let's leave them the way they are for now. Okay, so we have this badge. Let's get a little wing on this car as well. I would probably suggest this one. Don't move, I wanna think. Yeah. So, and then I'm gonna add another lip to this rear end here. And finish off the rear bumper by doing this. And some exhausts like that. Actually, should we just remove the wing? I think we should, yeah. And then we're gonna give this thing a number plate, and that should sum it up for the design. We do not have a number plate on the front end yet. We do now. Alrighty then. So let us go and select River Drive. Gonna make it like... this blue is actually not that bad. Orange? Yeah, it suits it better. I like how these indicators look when the car is gray. What about white? Yeah, I like that. Nice. So let's get to the engine tab. It's an N96. Let's make it aluminium. And I don't want to make it overly big. I want to have it be like 2.5 liters. Like this. And door overhead cams. 4 volts per cylinder with VVL. No, without VVL. Cast iron crank. I mean steel, and then forged pistons. Probably want compression to be around here. VVT on all cams, because we're gonna need it. Injection multi-point EFI. Let's give it a throttle per cylinder, just for better throttle response. And depending on what kind of power output we're making with this engine, I might also give it performance intakes, because you know the S2000 is no slouch. Let's make it rev to 7000 here. Long tubular exhausts. 2 straight from mufflers, 205. Well, we can tweak this a little bit more. Like this. Okay, so now how far can we go with the rev limit? Not very far. Need better conrods and better pistons. And we got a little bit of valve float. So this should solve this issue. It's gonna add some costs, but not that much really, right? 229 horsepower, 230, 231, 232. We got a little bit of valve load, so let's do this. Still, but I think this is fine. 245 horsepower is pretty much, not quite, but almost on par with the S2000's output. And who knows, maybe our car is lighter, because we do have those plastic panels. So let's see. Gonna give this thing a 6-speed manual gearbox and a viscous LSD. Top speed is gonna be around 250 here. Long gearing. Sports tires. Now let's give it a try with 245s on the rear end here for now. Those should be relatively good. 17-inch rims. Made from aluminium. 4-piston vented discs, excuse me, on the front. And I think 2-piston solid discs on the rear end should do the job quite well. We're gonna go for a fully clad under tray. We do not need that much downforce. Like the S2000 also wasn't really all about the downforce. Man, my ability to speak today is just absolutely horrible. But yeah, the S2000 didn't really make that much downforce, so I don't think we need a lot of it either. Let's give it a little bit of quality in the aero. 4 seats for better weight distribution. Standard interior and entertainment. Let's give it traction control, because this was pretty much the standard already in the year 2004 new cars. Like, not quite, it was still an option for most cars, but it was available. And yeah, so let's do this. Then standard safety should also do the job quite nicely. We're gonna go for a standard springs, gas monotube dampers and passive sway bars with a sport setup. And then we get a car that weighs only 1081 kilograms, so it is indeed lighter than the S2000, despite having a 2.5 liter inline 6 under the bonnet. 0 to 100 is 5.7 seconds, which is very nice, I would say. Good acceleration. Top speed of how much? 253. So this is limited by... What the heck? This can go so much faster still? Let's leave it here then. I mean, 5.8 is still pretty good from 0 to 100, but we now get so much less wheel spin and as a result more drivability and even a tiny bit more sportiness. So that's good. Let's see what it does now. $13.65 over the quarter mile. Yeah, this is a pretty decent graph, handling graph, if you will. We can still tweak this. We do this. This is gonna make it a little bit sportier. This didn't make a difference at all. Camber? It's made it more drivable. Which isn't a bad thing. Let's leave it here actually. Yeah, this is a good mix between sportiness and drivability, I think. And yeah, what does this do around the effort track? Let's see. Through the green light and onto the last corner and across the line in 129.7, which is still pretty good. It's definitely also better than an E46 BMW M3, so you know, it's not bad. So with that, we can even do 25.8 miles per gallon US, and it costs less than 10,000 to produce, despite the fact that we're running titanium conrods and lightweight forged pistons. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button, it helps out a great deal. Subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.